Apple's M5 MacBook Air has leaked, and it's gonna be likely the best value MacBook ever made based on the insane performance benefits that we've seen with the new M5 MacBook Pro. So in this video, I'm gonna share 5 major leak updates so you'll know if it's actually worth waiting for or if you should just buy the current M4 model on Amazon right now on sale for only $800. The first leak update is that we are not expecting any design changes whatsoever, just like we got with the new M5 MacBook Pro. And yes, that means no display changes, no webcam, no nothing, no N1 chip, which means no Wi-Fi 7. We even tore down the M5 MacBook Pro and found no changes on the inside whatsoever. The only thing was the SSD got a lot faster, but do not expect that to come to the MacBook Air because that's likely a Pro-only feature, at least for now. And no, we are not getting cellular support since that's likely only coming with the M5 Pro and M5 Max MacBook Pros based on leak code. Jumping into major update number 2, we got a lot of performance boosts and updates with the M5 chip, especially tasks that include anything related to ray tracing and AI related workloads. We got a lot faster web browsing, we got single core being a lot faster, we have faster encoders for video editing, which is really nice. So the M5 is a surprisingly capable chip. We also saw better battery life after 3 hours of heavy testing with the new M5 chip due to it being more efficient with the E-cores now running faster at higher clock speeds, so they're a lot more capable. Pretty much a really nice performance boost with that new M5 chip, and that is likely also coming to the M5 MacBook Air. For update number 3, we have the release date, and this is a little bit confusing, but let's break it down. Generally, the MacBook Air models usually come around 3 to 6 months after the MacBook Pro comes out. Now, we had some leaks from Apple Insider who discovered leaked code within macOS, which showed basically the entire release timeline of every Mac from late 2025 to 2026. Now, the M5 MacBook Pro was the first one with leaked code, and that was being tested with macOS 26.0.2, and that came last week with the M5. Now, next up is supposed to be the M5 MacBook Air, which is expected to ship with macOS 26.2, and that should be coming in early January, so we might actually see this in only a couple of months. However, this year is a little bit weird. We have a problem because the M5 MacBook Pro came, but it only shipped with the base model. And we're still waiting on the M5 Pro and M5 Max higher-end MacBook Pros. And Apple Insider found that those models will ship with macOS 26.3, which makes it seem like they're gonna come after the M5 MacBook Air. So it seems like spring 2026 would be the perfect time for those to launch. Especially since Apple Insider also believes that the Mac Mini and the Mac Studio are coming in June, so we need to have the MacBook Air and the high-end MacBook Pros come before then. Now, Mark Gurman also recently chimed in, and he believes that the M5 MacBook Air is coming in the spring at Apple's spring event, usually March or April. So what does that mean for the M5 Pro and M5 Max? Does that mean that those are coming in January instead? Well, it's really hard to guess right now, but I'm leaning towards that happening just based on the M4 MacBook Air current model. It came out in March, so if Apple were to release the M5 model in January, that would be less than a year before updating to the M5, and I think a lot of M4 owners would be pissed. Now, getting into major leak update number 4, I've got to talk about thermal throttling because we've been testing the M5 MacBook Pro, and that chip gets pretty dang hot. It has a single fan, but that fan is not keeping up. During Cinebench 2024, a full 100% workload for 10 minutes, the fan maxes out and it still cannot keep the clock speeds up, which is a really big problem for the MacBook Air, which is fanless, so this is gonna get even hotter in this chassis. So what is Apple gonna do? Well, I believe that there's a chance that the MacBook Air will get a slower chip compared to what comes in the MacBook Pro, because if you didn't already know, the iPad Pro also came with the same M5 chip, but it's not the same. It's actually slower. It's limited to a peak of 4.42 gigahertz maximum versus 4.61 on the M5 MacBook Pro. And as you can see, the M5 chip in the MacBook Pro scores way higher in the single core test compared to the iPad Pro, and same thing for multi-core. Now, this obviously is true because the iPad Pro comes with a 9-core CPU versus 10-core in the M5 MacBook Pro, but even the upgraded iPad Pro with 1TB SSD and 10 CPU cores, it still is not as high as the 10-core M5 MacBook Pro due to the clock speed difference. So that means there's a very good chance that the MacBook Air will get the M5 chip from the iPad Pro, the slowed down model, and maybe even the base model would get double binned with only an 8-core GPU, kind of like what we have on the current M4 MacBook Air. It only has 8 GPU cores compared to 10 on the iPad Pro. So imagine this MacBook Air getting that slower chip, which means we will not see all of those benefits that we're seeing in the M5 MacBook Pro. And now finally, for leak update number 5, we have to talk about future MacBook Air leaks, because that really changes when you decide to upgrade, because if we're getting something really awesome soon, maybe you'll want to hold off. Well, as we know, the M6 Pro and M6 Max MacBook Pros are getting full redesigns with thinner aluminum chassis, new tandem OLED displays, new dynamic island instead of the notch. We're getting touchscreen displays for the first time ever, and more. However, don't expect any of that to come to the MacBook Air anytime soon, maybe even years, because we previously had leaks of an OLED MacBook Air coming in 2027, but those have now been canceled, and now we're only expecting an updated LCD display in 2027. And OLED is nowhere to be found for years. It's getting delayed for many years. So this means that the MacBook Air is not going to be getting those other features like dynamic island, like touchscreen. It's not getting those for years. So the point I'm making is that you should not hold off if you're planning to buy the MacBook Air. You should just buy one whenever you need to. And that leads us to the original question. Should you wait for the M5 MacBook Air model coming in either January or spring of next year, or should you buy the current M4 Air right now? Because you can find it on Amazon with the links below for only $800 on sale, so it is very, very compelling. But should you wait for the M5? Honestly, no. Don't wait, especially if we think the M5 chip isn't gonna be as fast. It's really not gonna be that big of a deal compared to the M4 that we have already. Yes, maybe AI workloads and ray tracing are gonna be improved, so people that focus on that might get a nice benefit, but keep in mind that this thing's fanless and it's gonna overheat in longer sessions. So my take is this. Just buy the M4 Air right now because it had a huge update, 16 gigs of RAM, a nice performance boost, better battery life, everything. I honestly think that is the way to go, and I don't think you'll have any regrets when the M5 Air gets released. So with that said, if you want to buy the M4 Air, I'll have links to that sale down below. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts on all of this and all these leaks down in the comments section below. Definitely subscribe above for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.